You ever wonder what would happen if you combined ReZero, Erase, and threw in a healthy dose of juvenile delinquency? Well, buckle up because this is Sarcastically Explained Tokyo Revengers. Side note, this will contain some spoilers from episodes 1 through 3, as well as clips from episodes 5 through 9, just for a discussion on the censorship. Tokyo Revengers is the story of one protagonist, Red Loser Hanagaki Takemichi. He's struggling at a dead-end job with a boss 6 years his junior who constantly chews him out. While this would be a great premise for a rom-com anime, that's not what we're here for. Takemichi is the way he is because he and his bros lost out in a gang war years ago, and then were forced to be the errand boys of some members of the Tokyo Manji gang. Toman for short from here on out. Takemichi isn't apologizing constantly because he's Canadian or nothing, it's because it was the only thing that he could do after getting well and thoroughly beat down, to basically try and not get beat up any further. And to cap off his loser status, he gets news one day that his one and only girlfriend died in a truck accident as a part of a Toman gang conflict. And of course, this misery is gonna end when Takemichi meets Train-kun, elder brother to Truck-kun, and gets isekai to the past, and relives being subjugated with his best friends. Well, that kinda sucks. No, but it's not all bad because he remembers that Hina was absolutely precious and this smile must be protected. At long last, he has a chance to right some wrongs and prevent Hina's death. As with most self-imposed time travel missions though, this is a daunting task, but fear not. Takemichi has a superpower of, well, nothing really. Like Satoru Fujinuma before him in Boku Dake ga Inai Machi, the only thing he's really got going for him is that he's a mid-20 something in the body of a child. Which really isn't a superpower when you think about it. But he does catch a break when he deviates from the timeline and meets Naoto, Hina's kid brother. He tells him about the future and what's going to happen with 100% certainty, which Naoto believes incredibly and takes to heart. But there's a twist. Remember how I said Takemichi has no powers? Psych! Because basically whenever Takemichi touches hands with Naoto, he gets transported back to the future. A fact which he, of course, discovers by complete accident. In the future, Naoto's now a cop and he worked hard to prevent Hina's death, only it didn't work. Shocker, I know. Ending things before they happen in 2 episodes? Impossible. But we do get some more info. Hina died because Toman tore itself apart in a civil conflict. The 2 bosses came to blows and the rest, as they say, is history. Or the future, depending on where you're looking at it really. So all Takemichi has to do really is to get them to not come to blows. Easy, right? Well, nah, because as we soon find out from Kiyomasa, the guy who subjugated Takemichi in the first place, these middle schoolers look like they were held back several years. Like seriously, it looks like half these guys are about to say, "Oi, Josuke!" But if that's not bad enough, Kiyomasa is on what could be considered the weaker side, despite him kicking the ever-loving crud out of Takemichi and company. But aside from him, we get to meet the head honchos. There's Toman's vice president, Ken Ryuguchi, aka Draken, and president, Manjiro Sano. Manjiro admittedly sounds kinda goofy to me because it sounds like something a Nosuke would call Gonpachiro. Manjiro! Tanjiro-da! But thankfully he's got a nickname, Mikey. Very short, very anglicized, very easy to remember. Draken absolutely ruins Kiyomasa with his superhuman strength. They're still middle schoolers, by the way, in case anyone forgot. And then Mikey befriends Takemichi, and by befriend I mean kinda make him his pet? And the Fujoshi are already running wild with those fanfics. Oh, and also Mikey ruins Kiyomasa too, because why not? Oh, remember how I said Hina was precious and must be protected? Well, Mikey's exactly the same. Turns out that Toman isn't as bad as their future selves. Mikey and Draken believe in the idea of noble delinquents, people that reject society but ultimately abide by a strict code of honor. Kinda, sorta, a little tangentially like the Yakuza in a sense. It's a bit naive, but Mikey's childlike demeanor along with Draken's ethics help keep Toman in line. If one or the other dies, things get very dicey very quick. And so, the race is on, using his ability to return to the past. Takemichi's gotta stop Toman from fragmenting and eventually becoming a criminal syndicate. And that's all very exciting, but of course, we can't talk about this show without talking about the metric butt-ton of censorship that's been subtly ruining its broadcast. And I feel like I gotta tell you guys because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that I did. If you watch the Crunchyroll version, you'll see some very interesting shot choices at some very key moments. You know, I just assumed this was low-budget anime being low-budget anime. Like, why animate fight scenes when you can have a very interesting shot of this lantern? But thankfully, Reddit is a thing and I found out it's being actively censored for Western audiences. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the Tokyo Manji Gang's emblem. If you're experiencing revulsion right now, yes, that's a swastika. Does that make Toman a bunch of Nazis? Well, given how they're not espousing any of the rhetoric or dressing with caps with skulls on them, I highly doubt it. Okay, sarcasm aside, for those of you not in the know, this is a religious icon which features prominently in religions from the Indian subcontinent. This isn't a channel about religion, so I'm not going to get too into it, but TLDR, basically it isn't at all taboo in these contexts and even in parts of East Asia. In fact, quite the opposite. I don't blame anyone for doing a double take here, given what most people's first contact with this symbol would be. Like my own story, I used to be a wedding videographer, and because Toronto is such a diverse market, I've shot a bunch of Hindu weddings. And I also did a double take when I saw the pundit bring out this bit of iconography. In a very roundabout way, this is just to say that, yes, context does matter. I have no idea whose idea was to do this, but we the viewers are kind of paying for it, and even I'm falling into this trap because I don't want YouTube to demonetize and censor this video from surfacing your homepage in all but name. Hence why I'm kind of obscuring the symbol a bit, but private companies having a stake in public good, that's a conversation for another time. To give you an idea, here are some scenes side by side, censored on the left, uncensored on the right. And you can see just how much is being omitted. Wait, how did I acquire these scenes? Don't worry about it, a wizard did it. So yeah, check out Tokyo Revengers, uncensored if at all possible. I honestly wasn't expecting much, but I was pleasantly surprised. If you liked ReZero or Erased, chances are you'll like this. There are a couple of comedy moments that don't really land for me, and comedy is super subjective, but it doesn't really detract from the overall show, IMO. So yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, remember to hit like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And do check out some of this other content here. I've got a video on Odd Taxi, another one of my season favorites, and a video about what Cinder really thinks of her past.